There is neither creation nor destruction, neither destiny nor free will, neither path nor achievement. This is the final truth. There is neither past nor future. There is only the present. If you cease to identify yourself with the body, no question regarding creation, birth, death, etc. will arise. They did not arise in your sleep. Similarly, they will not arise in the true state of the self. So before we start taking it literally, I think we should also have a side that this might be a finger pointing to the moon. So just to keep that perspective along with when we start taking it literally.
Yeah.
My major concern is, why do everyone talks about time not being real? Why there is no past, no future? Like, of course there is no past because it is past. Why do we say there is only present? What does it mean?
I mean, the way I understand is, I'm just inferring my knowledge from other things like Taoism or Buddhism. They also talk about non-duality. Ki sab kuch ek hi hai. Everything is oneness, right? Ki everything is interconnected. So like when you want to really focus on that, like in reality, how would you experience that? You would experience that through the state of nirvana, right? Like that's what Buddhism says. Like you यहाँ पे तुम feel करते हो कि you're at peace, कि कोई वो नहीं है, कि मरने से, कोई pain से, कुछ चीज़ का कुछ नहीं हो रहा. हाँ. In that state, you wouldn't want to be bothered by the past or the future because they don't serve any. When we talk about that state, they don't serve any purpose in the present. I think that's why they say like there's no past and there's no future. But what do you think? Like, do you have? It seems like you have some problem with that.
Something sounds so profound but are so basic.
It could be, yeah.
So what he's saying, even if I talk to a 7-year-old, I think they will agree and they will understand after like 5 minutes of talking with them. He says there is neither creation nor destruction. Of course there is no creation nor destruction because there are things and they change form. So there is no creation of the table, there is word, we changed it, right? And there is no past, no future, only the present, because past was present and present will become future. Is there anything more to it, or is that it? We understood it. So are we there where he is? I don't want to believe that. What about you?
About that specific thing, I think the only thing that comes to my mind is that he really wants us to focus on the present. Like we are putting this spotlight on the present. Like we want to give importance to present. It's as if we would just want to only recognize our existence. That okay, I'm here and I'm now. That's it. It's not that I was or I will be. It's I am.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So we're not living in ideas, but no. Okay.
So I think what he wants to say is live in I am. Don't say I will or I was.
Okay, let's move to the next sentence. He said, neither path nor achievement. Now this also contradicts with himself, like at least it appears to me. Of course there has to be a path if we agreed that present became past and the present will become future. So there must be a path. If wood became table, there has to be a path. Why does he say there's neither path nor achievement? Why is there no achievement? Of course there is. Every intention is in pursuit of an achievement, and there is achievement.
Why do we need a path?
all the different actions that can be taken, not all will lead to the same result, and the desirable result will only be achieved through one or some actions, and those actions are considered the path. So if I want to make a table, there are only some ways to make a table from the wood. So that is the path, the action of a carpenter, and the achievement is a table. So why does he say there is neither path nor achievement? Is he saying that all of everything I just said is just an idea? But it's a strong statement. There is neither path nor achievement. The only way to deal with this in my head is to ignore it. That's why when I started, I just read the first line and the third line. I just skipped this because I didn't know how to process it. What do you think?
What if, and this is a big what if here. Correct me if you feel like I'm just going off topic, or maybe he wants to say that there is no specific path one should follow, or that there are no achievements. Like, I think it's the same thing with the past and future, that he doesn't want us to focus on the path or specific achievements when it comes to being aware, being conscious, being in the know of this ultimate truth.
It does make sense. I don't want to believe it, but
I know what you say, that there's a need for a path and goals, like they help us track कि हम कितना आ गए हैं and all that, right? But what if these are just distractions? Because कौन choose करता है path? We choose it, ना?
Yeah.
Goals भी कौन set करता है? We do it, ना? But like what, I think the kind of think or the state of mind that they want us to have is to not be burdened that I must follow this path, I must achieve this. That can brood worries, that can, I don't know, that's what comes to my mind when I think about it. When I thought about it, when I read about it the first time, that's what came to my mind, and I was like, okay, I gotta write it down, because yeah,
makes sense. Then he says this is the final truth. So aligning with your thought, so what I'm understanding right now is, of course there is a path and achievement, but it all lies on a superficial level. On a deeper level, there is no path and achievement. There is just isness. There is no creation and destruction. This is just ideas, an interpretation of the reality through our human mind. On that deeper level or higher level, whatever we want to call it, there is no path and achievement. There is no thought going on.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And I think we have to keep in mind, like, what is he preaching in particular. I think when we are thinking about these ideas, we're still talking about this experience that we're going through right now. So we haven't really thought about this idea, at least I haven't. It's hard for me to separate my physical being, जैसा मैं हूँ, from everything else that's left there. If I take out the physical existence thing, right? Because that's what we talk about here. We talk about something that transcends beyond physical existence. What basic चीज़ है, right? कि like यहाँ पे goal वो आ जाता है ना कि we want to transcend.
Okay, now the scarier part.
Yeah.
So we understood it. We
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I understand. I don't think I understand it. I'm just sharing what comes to my mind. Maybe we'll find something. Maybe we won't. Maybe this is just a waste of time. But go on. Yeah.
So what we know from the past, our past, we made an interpretation of the sentences.
Mm-hmm.
So you said something about transcending, right?
Yeah.
It's a different level other than what we already know. That is of the past, present, and future, and the path and achievement. So we acknowledged there is a transcendence.
Yeah.
Have we transcended just by accepting this idea? What do we do exactly now?
No.
No, right? It doesn't feel like that.
we haven't accepted it. That's the thing.
Yeah, we ignored it. Like we made sense
like,
of it.
Even though I'm saying like trying to make sense of all those things, there's some resistance in my mind. ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया? Like, so there's I don't think I have accepted it because the idea doesn't come from me, right? Like it came from someone. I'm treating it with respect. I'm trying to understand it. Impartially, like I'm trying to remove all the bias that I have. But still, it's not my idea. So there's going to be some resistance when I will try to implant it in my brain, and my brain's going to reject it. It's going to be like, well, this doesn't make sense with our current way of thinking. Maybe some things will align. Just say like हम उस दिन बात कर रहे थे. I was like, if an idea truly doesn't really come from you, there can be some compatibility issues that you might have to sort out. It's in a similar direction. But yeah. What are you going to say?
Yeah, it makes sense. I agree, kind of. And I think the next sentence actually supports whatever interpretation we made. It says, if you cease to identify yourself with the body, no question regarding creation, birth and death, etc. will arise. So now he's talking about looking at this problem from a distance and not seeing it as a reality. That is the only way we can see it objectively, without being influenced by it. When I started the question, I said, of course there is a path. I was involved in it. That's a mind that creates a problem, identifies with the problem. Now I'm separate from that. Now I just don't care what I think. I would see the other reality, the kind you explained. Now it says, in his words, he's saying, if you cease to identify yourself with the body. That's what we are doing right now. We are ceasing to identify with that kind of thought. There is a past, present, and future. There is a trajectory.
Okay, don't just see yourself as your body. You're more than that. See what you are. जब वो physical चीज को हम physical manifestation को निकाल देते हैं, what's left there? क्योंकि अगर हम physical बातें करेंगे, right? Then we are imposing some restrictions. क्या हम कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं कर सकते हैं. But when you remove this thing, then you remove those limitations as well. तो तब game different हो जाती है.
And I like this thing that he said, if you do this, if you don't identify yourself with the body, no question regarding creation, birth and death will arise. Which is again past, present and future. So he's not concerned with the reality, the way it is or the way it is perceived and how we are influenced by it, but he's concerned, no question will arise. So the problem is the conflict in our mind, that we are not satisfied with what is, or we think something is missing. That conflict will not arise. So to solve the problem, what I think right now, what he's trying to say is, we don't have to make the equation, but to reach a level where we don't want to create an equation. We stop solving the puzzle. The puzzle is not to solve the puzzle and just be at peace. let go. What do you think?
Again, like वही non-duality वाली बात है कि हम अलग नहीं हैं दुनिया से. We're part of, like, बात ये है ना कि non-duality का मतलब ये है, like at the core of it, कि हर एक चीज, everything is connected. मैं, आप, कोई भी, विवेक, ठीक है, अमित, कोई भी, ठीक है ना, किसी को भी उठा लो, ठीक है ना, we are all like part of this oneness, ठीक है ना. तो मैं, आप अलग नहीं है.
But what this, ये बड़ा खतरनाक स्टेटमेंट है.
हाँ, like that's what he's saying ना, like कि जब when you will stop identifying yourself with body, तो फिर किससे identify करोगे? And तब realization होएगी ना कि like we are all part of this oneness. तो जब वो चीज आ जाएगी, फिर आपको creation, birth, death, ये सब चीजें irrelevant लगने लगेंगी, क्योंकि फिर ऐसे लगेगा कि वो जैसे एनर्जी का फ्लो होता है, that's how things will seem. फिर ये क्वेश्चन मायने नहीं रखेंगे. These are only important जब तक हम physical, like body की बात करेंगे.
A mind is interested in a question and is engaged in it. वो solve नहीं कर पाएगा.
हाँ.
Just then we don't even exist then. I just try to imagine that.
What do you mean we don't exist then?
If I exist, then there is the other. But if we are one, then I can't exist.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I'm just like this table. Table doesn't exist.
You exist, but you don't exist.
Yeah. So there is no individual called this table.
There is no individuality.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what's being talked about here. I mean, that's at least what my interpretation is.
But he's very interesting. He said, just after this sentence, he says, these thoughts, they did not arise in your sleep. When we are aware, when we are in our waking moments, we use I to operate our lives. But when we are asleep, there is no idea of I that will create this conflict. If we actually could for a moment remove the idea of I, we won't have the language to say that I am different from the world, rest of it. There is just existence. And I'm not saying that a person will be able to experience existence itself. All I'm saying is, he will not bring up this question. There will no, as I said, what did he say? There will be no question regarding creation, birth, and death. So, in sleep, no one is arising the question. In awareness, in our waking hours, we are creating that question because we believe in I.
But doesn't I exist when we are sleeping, though? Like, what about, like, okay, so when we talk about sleep, are we talking about dreams?
No, deep sleep, I guess. Because in dreams, again, there is an I.
Yeah.
When we wake up, we say that I is not I, this I is I. But again, then who is the I who decides which I is I? The sleeping I says that, the temporary I is I. The waking I says this I is I. And our past we say that I was also I, but now this I is I. I have changed. If there is no past and present, no one is changing, there is no I, no one exists. This all conflict exists in itself. And this is ignorance.
So जब हम deep sleep में होते हैं, where you're saying कि हमें physical body से कोई concern नहीं होता. जब उससे कोई concern नहीं होता, तो question भी नहीं होते.
And we're not talking about dream state.
We're not talking about dreams. We're talking about deep sleep.
Yeah. Actually, I heard Krishnamurti say, it's very interesting, I think it relates to it. Krishnamurti said, in our sleep, we are actually truly aware. When we are waking, we are in our waking hours, we are always in conflict with some thoughts. There is no I at that time. It's just thoughts interacting with itself. And when we sleep, there is no one to interact with in deep sleep. There is just I. And the only I will not be able to see itself. An idea can interact with other ideas, cannot see itself. So when there is only I in deep sleep, it has nothing to interact with, so there is no conflict. But it's not true for us, though.
Yeah, is that what he meant by when he said to not live in a thought?
We can say that, I think. But it's not like it's something, it cannot be done just by saying that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to make sense of. Yeah.
And so in this sentence, if we are understanding it right, so in the last sentence he says, similarly, they will not arise in the true state of self. So the true state of self will be like deep sleep. When there is an I, or there might not be an I, it doesn't matter, because there is only one, and one cannot be in conflict with because there is no other, so there is no conflict. No one is trying to balance the equations. But now if we believe this, if we try to accept this and believe this, we have to accept that I don't exist. I don't want to believe that I don't exist.
So the other day we were talking about this and you asked me something really interesting. If there's this person, he brutally kills all the people on this planet.
Yeah.
And he's killed everyone on this planet. And it's my turn to judge him. Would I reward him with, or would I let him, not reward, would I let him go to heaven or punish him with the suffering of hell? But if, in that case, if I were to sort of create any conflict, do any retaliate pain with pain, right? Then that means I am seeing his actions as his actions. I'm not seeing his actions as my actions as well, right? But if I'm totally recognizing this oneness, then his actions also become my actions, right? So, in a weird, wicked way, right? Because there's no separation at the deepest level. So, what should you do? Should you let be, let things be?
And at this point, this first sentence comes back into play. There is neither free will nor destiny. So if the person committed all those crimes, was it destiny or was it free will? He says this neither. It just whatever
they just acted.
Yeah, it just is like the holiness is collectively working. So there is no one to punish, no one who will pass the judgment. So the conflict itself disappears. But that is not our reality.
That's interesting, yeah.
And I think the most important of all the words he says at the end, similarly, when they will not arise, the thoughts or whatever the ideas will not arise in the true state of the self. Now, what is the true state of the self?
And how can you achieve that when you are actually I think that's where it calls for trying to experience life in a different way. क्योंकि अगर हम life को ऐसे ही experience करते रहेंगे, we are stuck in this game. We are stuck playing this game.
Philosophy.
Yeah, I think that's where the importance of that's where we need practices, right? Meditation chahiye, self-inquiry, mindfulness. All of those things are important to directly experience what the unity of all existence would be like. We have to truly let go idea of this individual self. I think that's what he talks about.
But I don't think I can start from there. if I am deciding whether to do it or not, or to try to do it, or even think about it, then there is an I already there. How can I start with assuming if there is an X? Then we're going to prove there is no X. It's going to be very complicated.
I think a good question to ask yourself would be, what helps you identify yourself as an individual? And then truly looking at that with careful thought as to whether there's any substance in that or not. कि वो सब हमने illusion तो नहीं बना रखा, मेरा नाम है, ठीक है, मानते हैं identity है, like makes sense.
That's what it's not you.
But मैं नहीं हूँ ना.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's a good way to start, I think.
है ना? Like.
Actually, I have done this before. We both have, I think.
And failed miserably.
Yeah. So in the end, my conclusion was like, actually, even this should not be said, but if for the lack of words or for the lack of understanding, I decided that whatever this is, the body, mind, this is a neural network, came out of the structure of biology, body, physics, chemistry, math, all playing. And the neural networks that are creating the ideas and conflicting with each other, that cannot be a conscious self. Like, I cannot say it with conviction, but if you want to go that way, you can say that this is not I, because this is conditioned, and there is no proof of I. There is no reason to say that there is an I in this, because of whatever my reactions are, they can be artificially created. Right now, we don't have anything that mimics emotions, but there is no reason to believe that emotions are anything more real than thoughts, ideas, language. If any, I can create a language and thoughts and intercept points in that.
Right.
Maybe emotions are just a different level which we haven't reached yet, and there is no need to give them so much importance. So then what remains myself is the awareness of all of this conflict, all the emotions and thoughts and everything. And that is different from AI, that is different from neural networks. But when he says realize that, I just we just reached that conclusion that the awareness of all of this is my true self, or like, the first step at least.
I think,
then what? What do I know now? Okay, I understood it. Now what? Or I have not understood it actually, of course. But
it's hard to know, man. Because it sort of feels like uncharted territory. It is uncharted territory to us, right? I think वो second step तभी पता चलेगा once we have taken the first step. And there are
the first step?
There are no backseas.
What is the first step? Like, I thought this was the first step. Okay, I thought I meditated.
We haven't really taken the first. We've thought about taking the first step, but this is not us taking first step.
But there is no step to take, right? He just said that there is no past, future, no path and achievement. So there is no step to be taken. There is no need for any step. It is what it is. So what do I do now then? Again, the question is, something has to be done, right? Again. But he says no past and future. So either we cannot balance this equation all at one time. Maybe the sentences have been set at different planes. So we shouldn't even try to make mathematical sense out of it.
इतनी intellectual बात हो रही है. When you were like, what to do? मेरे दिमाग में केजरीवाल का मीम आ रहा था.
कब से बोल रहा है? करो ना.
I mean, that's, I think, something to think about. But I think, given that this was just like a really short Instagram post, I think we analyzed the heck out of it.
The 5 sentences. That's it. 5 or 6.
Well, I'm curious how much we've actually recorded. Ooh, 30 minutes. Hey.
Cool.
Okay.
That went fast.
Do you wanna pause here and I think for now what we can say is there's more that we need.
Maybe what we can do is
to know and then make.
What we can do is pause it here.
Yeah.
Take a day or two, maybe a week, whatever.
Yeah.
Meditate on it. Do not try to solve it with thought, but just sit and let it come to you. Be hollow, without the I. Try to be like there is no I. Like not think that there is no I. Just let it come to you. Like as Kabir said, जब मैं हूँ तब राम नहीं, जब राम है तो मैं नहीं, है ना? Something like that. You have to just be empty and let the knowledge fall into it, right?
I like that. Yeah.
So you can just be honest and see it like that.
Yeah.
Receiving.
Okay. If
we find something, we'll continue this.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah.
Next time from experience.
Or we think it's from our experience. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. This is silly.